Welcome into Rocket Power here on the ESPN Houston YouTube channel and ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Joe George and Sean Mapes here to talk all things Houston Rockets basketball with you. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button here on YouTube. And today's episode, as every episode of Rocket Power, is brought to you by D&M Leasing, home of the easy lease. Like, you don't want to be stuck in a car payment for 7 years. So get the easy lease. All you do is check them out, dmautoleasing.com, and give them a call today to get in your car in the next 72 hours. It's that simple of a process. The Rockets are good.
Yes, a couple easy process wins.
Yes.
Or I guess one in the last week on Wednesday night. But yeah, another 2-1 week.
That's what we said.
That was, check for you and check for don't make it a Wembanyama, oh my God, he's an alien night.
Yep.
Would have liked to win on that one, but lose the cup game. But other than that, a pretty impressive win against the Bucks coming from behind in the fourth quarter, and then exactly what you want when you play the 2025-2026 Washington Wizards. Absolute snooze fest.
Yeah, because they stink at basketball.
They stink out loud.
My gosh. I wonder what their over-under is for the season, because it cannot be very high. No. We're going to talk a lot about a bunch of different things. We'll look back at that Spurs game. We'll talk about the upcoming stretch of Rockets games between today and then when our next show is going to be, what our goals are for them in this next stretch. But first, let's start with Alperen Sengun. Continues to play very well this year. And honestly, are we going to throw out the E word? An elite level of basketball play from Alperen Sengun?
Yeah, I mean, it's up there.
Yeah.
If not there, it's on the next step down. I was thinking, when I gave the idea for what to start with, I almost said superstar. Becoming a bona fide superstar, toned it down to star. Hopefully the title reflects that. But I will say that he is playing at a star level, because it's beyond just the numbers that he's putting up. It's 23 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Like those in itself, really good. It's also the fact that he's the focal point of this offense, an offense with a lot of talent on it, and an offense that right now is number one in the league.
Yeah, I mean, you look at just like the comparative stats. In points per game right now, he's 23rd in the NBA. He's 9th in the NBA in rebounds. He's 11th in the NBA in assists per game. He's checking all the boxes. He has taken his game to that next level. I think, to answer the question, yeah, he's playing like a star. And I think he is a star at this point. He is. The Rockets' season, when you look at where it can go, obviously Kevin Durant's a huge factor to that. But it feels like it still all starts with the way that Alpi and Amen play.
Yeah.
Like those two guys have to be really continue to grow their games and both enter that star or superstar category. But to me, it feels like Alpi has checked that box of like he's a star in the NBA.
Yeah, it reminds me of a few years ago when the Rockets were still probably year one of Ime Udoka, where they were starting phase 2. They got Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet. They're rumored, or at least we talked about a lot of rumors of them going out and getting a star. And we always talked about, well, best case scenario, you have the star on your roster.
Yeah.
Like best case scenario, one of Sengun, Jalen Green back in the day. They just drafted him in Thompson. One of these guys, Jabari. One of these guys were the superstar of this team. The funny thing is they go out and they actually trade for one of those guys. They trade for Kevin Durant. And it just so happens that this is the year where one of those young guys that you drafted ends up taking that leap and really, to me, becoming the, if you're going to do MVP of the team, it would be Alperen Sengun.
I think it's a close race, though. Like, Amen's not far behind.
No, it's not. It really just feels like it's the 1 year difference or 2 year difference of them getting drafted.
100%.
Where it's like Sengun just seems like he's a little bit more comfortable. Some of it has to do with his role, that he is playing a similar role, maybe just a little usage boost on that he's played in years prior, where Amen Thompson is still trying to work through some of the kinks of being the starting point guard for this team.
The other thing with Alpi, too, that has impressed me so much, and I think has helped elevate him into that star level, I think it's just the 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
It's much better this year. It's in control. Like he's not just taking them to take them.
It takes him when he's open.
Yeah, when he's open, like when he needs to take them. It's good basketball that we're seeing from him on a consistent basis, and that's where like Amen. I mean, like it's a while back now. It feels like, but that first game of the season, going 0 for 7 for 3, was it really necessary? Probably not. But like we're seeing that growth with Alpi, and it is funny. Like looking, like everyone was so excited about this, the Eurobasket highlights this offseason. I didn't want to take any of them into account.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like
it's just
they're not a lot of great basketball players, but the highlights were great. But then they're translating, and like it's like, okay, maybe they did mean something this offseason.
Yeah, I wonder what the lesson there is, because I agree with you where a lot of that stuff I do kind of like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I rather you play well than poorly in Eurobasket, but I'm not porting that over because we see, even just watching Team USA games, like when they play Germany, who gives them a tough time? Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah.
I'm not going into the season going, who to watch out for is Dennis Schroeder. He's taking a leap. And so there is a little bit of that there with him making that run with Turkey and Eurobasket where it was almost like we got deceived by how good he was that we thought there's no way this. I think if he was just a little bit better, we would buy into it more. It was just he was so good that we didn't really see it coming.
Yeah, and it's the play versus Giannis is the one that it just.
Yeah, that to me is like.
That's where that superstar word comes into play.
Yes, it's the coming out party aspect of that, where he gets pressure all the way up the court. I mean, it's one of those things. How many guys in the league, how many centers in the league make that play? There's
2?
Yeah, maybe Jokic, but Jokic it's at 0.75 speed.
Yeah.
Like there's a certain agility, certain like athleticism that Sengun has. I mean, some of that is he's just a little bit smaller of a center than a Jokic, than Prime and Embiid. But he is such a fluid athlete. Or it's not really fluidity, but I don't know, he's like has a balance, he has a nimbleness to him. But he is kind of herky-jerky still when he gets into the post. But it's like he just makes it work. He knows what he's doing. It's a little bit of like, if he missed the shots, we'd be like, what the hell is this guy doing? But he's obviously like there's a method to the madness that he's doing. There's
a level of control that he just has, like with being like kind of herky-jerky, but also being, as you said, smooth. Because he checks kind of all the boxes.
He's like smooth on the perimeter with the ball in his hands, and then when he's close in, he does a lot of the like up fake, like drop step, pump fake again. He puts his ass into someone. Like there's a lot of like he's doing a lot of very old school post move stuff, just in a very 2025 environment.
Yes. The only thing we talk about his star level, like if he's not fully there just yet, like what pulls him back? Like you look at the numbers, just not. I would say versus his career is probably a little more unfair, but some like just the year-over-year stuff to this point. I mean, the 3-point percentage jump it's larger than I thought it was. I knew there was a jump. He's shooting 41.9% right now from 3.
Yeah.
He shot 23.3% last year. That is a unbelievable
17-point jump.
Yeah, we're seeing like his points per game is up. His assists are up. That to me is the number. The other one though, like going from 4.9 a game to 7.2. Some of that's Kevin Durant. Like helps a little bit having more guys that can make shots.
And no Fred VanVleet. So the offense is going through him a little bit more there.
But I think it all looks good. Like you still need a point guard, I think, at some point this year. But like the way they're running the offense through him, it is baby Jokic-ish.
Yeah. It's definitely like. We would kind of joke about the baby Jokic stuff and a little bit of like, we shouldn't be saying this, but that is kind of what it looks like. And now it's like, this is actually what it looks like. Like this is some of the stuff that Jokic is like on a different planet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many like 55-point game Alpi has in his bag that Jokic seems to drop once a week.
Yeah, but there's the elements there, and I mean, what's more likely is that he's kind of his own thing, and we're lumping them together because they're both European centers that have similar-ish games. But yeah, I think you have to be encouraged by the increase in responsibility in the offense, increase in volume, and that it's translating with efficiency. The drawbacks that are kind of keeping them back, or the next step after this, probably limiting the turnovers. That's something Jokic really good at. He doesn't really turn the ball over very much. Alperen, I think, is at around 4 per game.
He's at 3.5 right now.
Okay, 3.5. So,
which is a full turnover higher than last year.
Yeah, and a lot of that is just, the bad passes that he's making because Fred VanVleet type isn't there making them. So it's understandable, but in year 2, year 3, year 4 of, All-Star Sengun, I would like that to be a little bit lower. Obviously, we talked about the shooting. Probably some regression there. Join the club with all the Rockets that either this is going to be the greatest shooting team
ever
since the Warriors, or there's going to be a lot of regression there. So I think just the fact that he takes them is very helpful. The same thing with the Ime Thompson, where it's like, I think it's just helpful just to take them, to like have 100%. It in the defense's mind that like, hey, we had, Ime Thompson took 4 on Friday against San Antonio. He made 2 of them. So like that's good enough. I'll take that. And I think Sengun just taking more of them. I think he'll probably be closer to a 30%, 32% three-point shooter than a 40. Mm-hmm. But just taking them, they'll probably be more contested because they'll be on the scouting report to get out to him a little bit more. But that's helpful because now a guy's closer. It's easier for him to drive. Opens up the lane for a cut by a Min or Tari Eason.
Yeah, and if you put a big guy on him on a perimeter, you might just go past them every single time.
Exactly.
You could bully through them.
You could put Giannis on him, and he goes past him.
Yeah, that play is still like the amount of times he beat Giannis on that one play.
Hit him like 3-4 different times on the court.
Is remarkable. It was a superstar level play, and plays that we're starting to get accustomed to seeing from him at this point. It's funny though, so I have to ask because we've talked about this off the podcast. There's 8 spots available on the World All-Star team.
Yes.
And we are, 10 games into the season? Yeah, 10 games into the season. I feel like he's going to be an All-Star.
When I watch him, I think All-Star. You know, like that. Yes. He is an All-Star in that way, where I watch it, I'm like, this guy is one of the best. I'm used to one of the best 24 players in the league. Now it's a little bit different, but there is some. There's a roster crunch, I'll say, on the 8-man world roster because you're starting with Jokic, who we've already said is on a different planet. You got SGA on the Thunder. You have Giannis.
Yep.
You have Wembanyama. So that's 4, like without even thinking. That's 4 without a doubt.
Luka,
that's 5 probably without a doubt. Sorry, Luka, that you didn't make that cut. And you got the Embiid. Like if he's healthy, he's still pretty good. Like if he works himself into shape, like he doesn't even have to be prime Embiid. He can be a little bit lesser than and still be an easy All-Star. And now you're in the last 3 spots? There are 2-3 spots available. And I think Sengun should be in that mix, but you also have to take into account the East-West thing, and there's going to be a lot of Western Conference deserving All-Stars, U.S. or not. So it's going to be a little bit tighter than we think, but if he keeps this up, to me, he's in.
He's going to be in. And then I think we're also going to see Reed Sheppard make the 3-point shootout this year.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. It's definitely possible. I mean, I think he's shooting 60% the last 3 games. That'll probably come down. But yeah, I think Reed Sheppard, I mean, is there a Ime Thompson dunk contest opportunity?
I don't know. It's gotten so bad. Look, I know.
You don't want him in the dunk contest? It's beneath him?
I mean, Jalen Green's performance was so embarrassing.
It was tough. It was tough.
And then, you saw Modest Buzelis last year had a similar performance to Jalen Green's, where it's just like, I don't know, couldn't make a dunk.
Everyone besides Mac McClung seems to have, like, there's one spot for Mac McClung, there's one spot for a guy taking it somewhat seriously, and then there's normally one guy where it's like, did you get out of bed this morning? Like, what happened? What happened, dude?
Currently the Rockets have 2 of the top, looks like 8 3-point shooters so far this season. Reed Sheppard 50%, but shooting 59% in his last 6 games. Okay. And then 3rd best in terms of 3-point field goal percentage in the NBA still belongs to Tari Eason at the moment.
Yeah, and we talked about it last week.
Which is absurd.
We talked about it last week, how we expected it to come down. We expected the tough night, the regression, and we're like, well, they probably should still win that game because they're winning games where it's a tough night for Kevin Durant shooting the ball, so I think they can survive a Tarisin one. Still haven't had it, so we don't know. We actually haven't had the proof of concept there, but yeah, I think what we talked about last week still applies. Where this is a team where it feels like every single young guy that you wanted to see take a step has taken that step. I mean, we can talk a little bit about Reed Shepperd specifically here because to me, other than Sengun, he's kind of the story of the last week of Rockets basketball.
100%.
3 games since we did our last show. They're all 3 of the best games of his career, and they're not like these big explosions, which in a way makes me feel better because they're not like these outlier performances. He is doing what he needs to do in the role that he's in. He is scoring 16 points against the Bucks, including a 3 or 4 play consecutive or pretty consecutive possessions where he is making shots, he is taking tough ones, he is getting playing in the pick and roll, he's driving, rising in the mid range. So to me, other than again turnovers with all these guys, it's a little high. He's giving you everything, like the proof of concept for what he can be on this team.
Yeah, I'll tell you from where we were game 3 or 4 of the season to where I'm at today with Reed Shepperd, totally different. Like I'm impressed. The shooting looks like it can be elite in the NBA. We're like for him that he can be someone that you can rely on a consistent basis to make shots. They were talking about the other day. We're like, it doesn't really touch the net, which is always impressive. It's just constantly just right through the net. It looks good. And I think the offense is also starting to get to a point, Sean, where for Reed, where it's starting to outweigh some of the negative. Like you take okay, if you're gonna score like this efficiently, I can be okay with being forced to play in a zone because you're getting attacked on defense. Like it's a very fine line you have to have, especially with a coach like Ime Udoka, where you have to play good defense. But if your offense is good enough, he might give you a little bit of a pass.
Yeah, and especially being really the lone defensive liability on the court most nights. There's some matchups where it might be tough for Adams or Capella at the backup center spot, but for the most part, all the wings are good at defense. No one's really going after Kevin Durant yet. He still has, obviously the size and then the reputation of let's not go at, that's not a mismatch I'm hunting. Really, Reed Shepperd's the only guy where if you're an offense, you're like, we can get something off of him. And that's a big target on his back. And I think he's, like you said, he does just enough, I think, to not be like head in your hands, like, oh my God. A part of that is he's a defensive playmaker as well. He's a little bit, he reminds me of a cornerback in football where down to down the coverage, it's not quite Darrelle Revis, but it's more Asante Samuel level of there might be a year where he just has 9 interceptions.
Yeah.
There might be a game where he picks off your quarterback twice. And that to me is Reed Shepperd with these steals where he'll catch you napping. On Wednesday against the Wizards, he had a weak side block from behind where it's you just forget that Reed Shepperd can make that play.
Yep.
It's different than having your, more traditional 6'1", 6'2" white backup point guard out there where it's that guy's probably not making a play on the ball when you're taking a layup. Reed Shepperd is.
Yeah, if he's making those kind of plays, that kind of offense, you can live with some of the other stuff. It's
the proof of concept. This is this is what the Rockets need him to be.
And what I love about it too is that how Ime and the coaching staff have already adjusted off his role. That they started the season with more of him in that point guard role, and they're moving away from it. They're like, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to fit him. He is going to feel like that J.J. Redick, Kyle Korver role. Sorry to only name white guys.
Yeah, Malik Beasley. Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a bad call there, Sean. Ray Allen, probably not good enough defense for Ray Allen, but just someone that can be, if you're enough on defense that yes, at certain matchups you will have to take him out of games.
Yeah.
Specifically if he's not shooting the ball, he was going to get yanked. You still have to add a point guard to this team, but Reed's role on this roster, as long as he's on it, unless he's included in a big trade, it does make a lot of sense with what they're doing with him now, and I've been really, really surprised with how quickly it's gotten better. so far.
Yeah, and talking a little bit more about the role, I forgot who it was that pointed it out on Rockets Twitter, but like you look at the shots he's taking, he's not taking like role player, wide open threes. Like he's taking like pump fake, sidestep threes. Like he's taking the type of threes that stars are allowed to take, and not just the ones for the spot up shooters. So that's another one where, like it's the potential. Like we all saw the Kentucky highlights. Like the potential was always there.
Yeah,
it's nice just to see like the him delivering on that in the NBA.
Well, I will say that no longer the dribble sidestep. That's no longer allowed.
Dribble sidestep only when necessary, because I do want Reed Sheppard to continue to be available for the Rockets.
Yeah, because I don't want to get punched in the face by Ime Thompson, because if you missed it, jokingly, Reed Sheppard said, quote, "Ime told me in the weight room just a minute ago, if you take one more dribble when you're open and there's no shooting, I'm going to punch you in the face." Ime did confirm that he said that.
Yes, then they went to Ime Thompson. He's like, yeah, I said that. And guess what? I believe him.
Yep, me too.
I'm not sure he's joking.
Brotherly love, that's what this is.
Yes.
Brotherly bullying of do not dribble anymore with no shooting.
And the results speak for themselves.
Yes.
Keep doing what you're doing, Reed Sheppard. Keep what you're doing, Ime Thompson.
Look, not everyone leads the same way. Sometimes you lead with physical violence.
Yeah.
And if it's working for Reed Sheppard, being led by Ime Thompson that way, then who says no?
Yeah, hey, the results speak for themselves.
Anything, just looking back at that Spurs game, the one game they lost this week, that stands out to you that does have either immediate or long-term concerns for?
More immediate, and I guess it's long-term, but it's 72 games from now that you have to worry about it. But there is a little bit of the continued, like, all right, so if you're not going to dominate the glass, you might just turn the ball over too much to win one of these games against a defense that is playing with a lot of intensity, a defense that is talented, a lot of good defenders on the Spurs. And if you're not getting the advantage on the glass, like even I think the Spurs game, it was pretty even on the rebounding side of things. If you're not getting the advantage and you're still turning the ball over the way the Rockets turn the ball over, I have some questions of how they can win in the playoffs doing that. But like I said, there's 72 more games of these ball handlers getting thrust into bigger roles, whether that's Sengun, Thompson, Durant even. I think he had 8 turnovers on Friday. They're going to get more comfortable in that role. I do think the turnovers will slide down a little bit, even if they don't make a move for a point guard. I think just naturally they will get a little bit better taking care of the ball. So it's not really a long-term concern, but just the delicate balance it takes for the Rockets to be an awesome offense. Right now, it's very delicate.
Yes, it is a thin line of, like, even with, like, if there's another injury that plays out at some point, And again, as you mentioned earlier, like, at some point, like, Tari's not going to shoot 53% from three, we don't think. Reed Sheppard could be a 50% from three-point shooter, honestly. Like,
over long stretches,
not probably not the entire season, but over like very long stretches, like he can be that good. We still have not really seen consistently the best version of Kevin Durant as a member of the Houston Rockets, which like is not a concern for me at this point. It's not even close to being a concern.
It's something where you don't have to take that car out of the garage very often.
Yeah, like call me like when Kevin Durant's having these up and down games in the playoffs. Like then it's like, like we'll see how that contract works out. But for now, like it just hasn't been great at all times. Coming up, the Rockets coming up this week. What are your goals for them before our next show? We've got one more group play game in the NBA Cup on Friday night versus the Blazers. They got the Magic, who have been struggling this year, on Sunday, and then they'll have the Cavs, one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, coming up on next Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to just circle the Cavs game of like, hey, I want to see it against a really good team. The Rockets are bottom 10 in strength of schedule so far early in the season, but they are, I think, third in the league of margin of victory. So there's a little bit of like, they haven't played anybody, but they are beating the teams how they should be beating these bad teams. I want to make it a little bit more broad, and it is still only 3 games, but I do want to see the shooting regression. It's funny. I want to see them play a little bit worse. Okay. I want to see the shots not falling, and I would just want to see how it looks. I mean, the last game we saw from the Rockets, the Wizards game, they scored 80 points in the first half. Like, that's just not – you're not going to do that every night. You're not going to do that any nights really against the top teams in the league. I just want to see it when things aren't going to plan. Like, what is their counterpunch? What is the, like, oh, okay, so Tari Eason isn't playing like Klay Thompson and Reed Sheppard isn't playing like Steph Curry. Like, now what? And I think they will have answers for that. I think, like we said, there's some low-hanging fruit of Kevin Durant just plays better. But I would like to see it in action.
Yeah, I'm with the Cavs game, just the matchup with Donovan Mitchell, just how that plays out. It feels like it'll be heavy on men. Kogi will obviously have a role in that, but like we know that Mitchell, of everyone, of like as we talk about Reed Sheppard, like this, like knows how to play with a high level of IQ in the NBA. He's going to see Reed Sheppard out there and say, that is the guy I'm going to pummel right now on this play. Like, how does that play out on Friday? And then really the other two games, just continue to take care of business. Do what you did. Again, like not 81 points against the Wizards, but like just, the Magic are struggling this year, but they have some good players. Like that matchup with Franz Wagner will be very interesting. Yeah. You should roll over the Blazers. You got to get a cup win.
Got to get a cup win. You know what? That's one of the things. We should write them. Must win. Got to get it on the board for the cup. It's a hard group, and you got to. The Blazers are kind of the easiest one in your group. You got to get a win against them.
Must win cup game. All right, it's in the notes on the iPhone.
Yes, we will revisit next week.
I'm gonna expand on that just a little bit more too. Give me a 3-0 week.
3-0 week. Okay.
Which means really to me beat the Cavs. Beat the teams.
Beat the Cavs. Don't trip over.
Beat the teams you're supposed to, and then beat the Cavs on Wednesday night next week. Anything else we didn't get to for this one?
No, I mean there's some things that we can save for next week.
Yeah.
A little bit of the fallout from Nico Harrison getting fired. Maybe there's a Mavs fire sale. We can talk about that next week.
I think I got someone in mind.
Yeah, is it one of the sinners?
No.
I think I know who it is then.
Kyrie Irving. All right, we'll talk about that next week. And also catch me on Monday through Friday, Jeremy and Joe from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch Sean Monday through Friday from 10 to noon with the Del Ole Show. Thank you guys for watching. This episode's been brought to you by D&M Leasing, home of the Easy Lease. It's a really easy process. You give them a call. You talk with one leasing agent. They will help you get into the car that you want within 24 to 72 hours. They will bring the car to your house, to your office, wherever you're eating, whatever you want to do. They'll bring the car to you, and they will take your trade-in as well. You work with one person, make it simple for you. Check them out, dnmautoleasing.com. That'll do it for Rocket Power. We'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.